What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Headball 2 video. Today we are going to be jumping into the Green Samurai, and we're also going to be talking about something that's kind of important in this game that I didn't know was a thing until some of you guys pointed it out in the comments of the last Headball 2 video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So guys, occasionally when I go into these matches, you're going to notice that the players aren't in clans, which is or teams, which is a very important thing to notice here. But that also they're going to have weird behaviors that, you know, you're not really going to notice it unless you really look out for it. But you know, if you do pay attention to this sort of thing, you will notice that they do act kind of funny. And this is because they're bots. They have bots on the ladder because otherwise there wouldn't be enough people to play, I suppose. Or in certain like fan levels anyways. So like right now, for instance, I'm facing a bot, and that's why they're making like really weird decisions, okay? And we're able to sort of take advantage of this by winning basically the same way every single time. You know, if they do that sort of serve, like they sort of jump it high up in the air, you can usually shoot right over their head and then like just spike it into the goal. Or you can just sort of take it back and forth over and over again. If you're ahead in score, they'll try to knock you out, but if you stay away from them a decent amount, then they won't, and then you can get a little bit farther away from them and then get a score off of it, if that makes any sense. Basically, guys, what you're gonna want to do, at least down the line, once you get to like the area that I am, where basically you're going up against bots that are either level 30 or level 40. And I have one up against level 40 bots occasionally. You're going to want to try to shoot right over their head every single time. You're going to want to volley it up in the air by yourself and wait for them to come at you. And then once they come at you, you'll shoot right over their head. And it took me a little while to figure out this strategy, but with some other YouTubers' help, actually in the Brazilian Headball 2 scene, I got their help on it because it seemed like no one in the American scene actually, or the English scene in general, knew what I was talking about when it came to bots. So I had to go over to the Brazilian YouTubers that make videos on this, and it turns out that there's actually legitimate strategies to always win against bots, and you guys saw that right now while I'm talking and explaining this sort of thing. It's very easy to beat these bots if you use the same strategy almost every single time, especially when you have, you know, a maxed out character like I do. This is going to be a level 40 bot, I believe. It will check because it's not going to be a level 40. If this is a bot, it won't be an actual level 40 character, okay? Basically, the level 40 characters are going to be very difficult to beat usually. You want to use a bit of a different strategy with them. You don't want to do what I just did, which was absolutely just stupid. You're going to want to pull them back. What you do, okay, that was bad. That was really bad. I'm probably going to lose this one, guys. You want to pull them forward and then continue to bring them back by kicking at them, okay? So then they run after you, and then simultaneously the ball is bouncing in the background, okay? And then you're going to shoot it right over their head once they get back to you. So you're going to want to volley it up and down, and then you bring them back. It takes a little bit of practice, guys, and I still haven't gotten used to it, as you guys can see. At least with level 40 characters. That was bad. With level 40 characters, it's much more difficult to do this sort of strategy. I've not had much success with it, if any at all. I haven't actually even been able to beat a level 40 bot. And you guys are going to see after I finish this match, basically proof that this is a bot. Like, this cannot be a person. You might think, hey, well, that person might just not be on a team, but no, I can guarantee you guys this is a bot. And that's a bot emoting and trying to make me rage. That's a bot that's using power-ups and stuff, and they'll even occasionally they'll try to rematch you to simulate the actual game experience. You know, it was weird because the other day I went up against a whole bunch of non-bots, and I was shocked because I hadn't gone up against non-bots in like a long time, and I never even realized that they were bots in the past. So you guys are going to see right now, if we click on this character, so we lost normal fans and points for losing that match, okay? We lost 6-0. It was a pretty bad loss. And this would probably incentivize someone weaker-minded to go spend a whole bunch of money on the game and, you know, try to get better characters and better costumes and everything to try to win. Well, if you click on the character, you'll go to their profile. They have 2,049 games, 24,000 fans, which means that they have an abominable, absolutely terrible win rate. We'll go over at 46%, a maximum fans of 30,000, a 1-month registration, which is important to note because the game's only been out for about a month. Fully maxed out superpowers here, and they are, most importantly, to figure out if it's a bot, they are level 31 with level 40 characters. I'm not a fan, guys. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that at all. I'm really kind of upset that they'd even pull this kind of crap. And I thought that they were better than this. But whatever, you know, I guess there are ways to beat level 40 characters as level 20 or level 30 legendary. I've seen it before. Even with level 30 rares, I've seen it. So it's definitely possible if you get good at the game and good at sort of predicting different things and then baiting out the computer, the bot, to do certain things. But you will notice occasionally you go up against the same exact person like 3 or 4 times in a row, and then you'll put down the game, and then like 3 or 4 hours later, you'll get back on, you'll play a couple matches, you'll go up against the same exact person. That's a bot, okay? Most of the time anyways. You know, occasionally you'll get a non-bot, but most of the time it's going to be a bot if it's the same person with like a multiple hour time difference, or even like 12 hours later. If it's going to be the same person, it's probably going to be a bot. And there are people that are sort of very dedicated to the game, and they'll put a lot of time into it. You might go up against them, but usually if they're that dedicated to the game, if I can talk, they'll probably be in a team, and that's a good way to sort of figure out if it's a bot or not, because bots will not have teams, at least in my experience. I haven't seen one that's had a team before. So, yeah, we're going up against another bot, it looks like, because I remember that name, and I remember that combination of costumes. So, gonna be another bot fight. Should not be too difficult, but occasionally you get really like powerful bots, like bots that seem to know a little bit more about what they're doing than, you know, the rest. Like, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Kind of just have to volley it across and then sort of hit it right over their head because they don't jump fast enough to react to it. That's like the only way that you can win against these things, consistently anyways. Occasionally you can volley it back and forth and then, you know, outdo them by getting right up close to them, like at their goal, but otherwise it's going to be extremely difficult to win. That's going to be bad. Yeah, we basically, if they use that power up, there's basically no way I found to be able to beat it. The big head is also very difficult to beat, although I do have a strategy against it. If you can sort of catch it fast enough, it is possible to beat it. Didn't even notice. Looked away for a second to check the cam and did not even notice that that was happening. But yeah, occasionally you can do this sort of thing where you volley it over their head a few times. They stop moving, and then all of a sudden you're able to hit it over their head, spike it into the goal. Occasionally that also doesn't work out for you, though. Definitely not nearly as consistent as doing it farther away and then baiting them out. That's really what you want to do. You want to bait them out right about the middle mark there, a little bit past the center line. And then if they come towards you, then that's good too. You can definitely volley it like that and do very well. On the iPad, very hard to hit the ice barrier on my goal fast enough. But yeah, we're going to just sort of bring that right back over to the middle. He's going to hit us a few times, volley it right over his head, and take the goal. That's going to be unfortunate, and we're going to be a 2 behind right there. I'm going to use my timer because, you know, again, that's only going to be about a 200 gold cost right there to sort of get another 30 seconds to try to use this strategy. Volley it right over their head, spike it into the goal, and see if we can take the win and get those power points, those normal points to get farther up on the ladder. Another 30 seconds. Very odd decision by the bot there, bringing it up to about a 60-second timer right there. Gonna make this a pretty long match. But yeah, you can definitely win very easily, very consistently against bots. I haven't figured it all out yet, but I'm definitely getting there, you know? And this overhead strategy has been the best strategy in my opinion anyways. If you guys have a better strategy, please feel free to let me know. I've seen an 80%, and actually the highest I've seen is 82% win rate. So I know it's possible to have a very high win rate in this game. Like an almost unstoppable win rate against bots, but I personally haven't figured out how to do a super consistent win rate like that. So please let me know in the comments if you know more than I do, if you figured it out. because I would definitely be happy to share everything in the future. That's going to be an overhead, and we should be able to guard for the last few seconds, guys. Just for a couple more seconds. That's going to be the game. GG, 9 goals. Again, you can also sort of farm goals like this for your ball baskets, so that's sort of a decent thing to do as well. Definitely can recommend that because I've done that before. But yeah, you can see you sort of start gaining fans up a little bit quicker. You get a lot of wins. It feels pretty good, dude. But those level 40s, they are very difficult to deal with. They can shoot from like a mile away. They're all of a sudden you get an overhead shot, and it's like the character isn't even there. You know, it'll be like halfway across the field, and the ball will go flying into your goal like over your head. It's like, how did you do that? You know, how is that even possible? And it's a bot. It's not even a person to make you feel better about losing. It's a bot. So this is going to be yet another bot. Makes it a little bit less exciting to play this game knowing that we're going up against so many bots, I gotta say. I hope that at some point they fix matchmaking so you're not going up against bots, because I would rather be going up against players that I'm being outmatched by, level 40s or whatever, because I know there are a couple of them. Maybe, actually. I'm not positive there are a couple of them, but I think I've seen at least one in an actual match before, like a real player that's been a level 40. But we have a lot of level 30 players that are, you know, in the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 fan range in this game. So definitely think that we could do better if we were actually playing against real players a little bit more often. See, it's like basically guaranteed they got a goal from that. Like there's no beating that. Let's see if we can overhead it. And you don't want to volley it back and forth right up on their goal, back and forth like between. You want to make sure that it's always overhead. If it's not overhead, they'll usually be able to react quick enough to it. Like there are very, very few instances, I'm pretty sure, where I've actually, you know, 1v1'd up close a bot and come out on top. It just doesn't happen. You have to overhead hit, or you're just not going to do well. It's just, you're going to have a bad time, you know? And again, he taunts me. I'm going to go ahead and score a goal on him. Of course, it's not an actual person using up their power up there, so I can't relish in the fact that I just made him salty and he used up a power up that cost diamonds. That kind of sucks. But yeah, definitely hoping that they fix matchmaking. That's my main qualm with the game now, is that basically it's not as satisfying knowing you're going up against bots, and it's really frustrating to lose against basically just a bot. You know, not a real character. That's just annoying. Only a few seconds left, and not going to have the chance to go ahead and grab the win. That's going to be another win for us, guys. GG, Mr. Robot, but not GG enough. And guys, that is going to be about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you have any strategies or tips for going up against level 40 bots, I'd love to hear it, because it is otherwise seemingly very difficult to get used to the strategy you need to have to be able to beat them. You sort of, it seems like what I've seen from the Brazilian YouTubers that are, you know, at the top of the game, they have over 100,000 fans at this point because they win almost every single match that they play right now. What I've seen is that they sort of bounce it behind them, and then they bait the opposing character towards them to sort of just follow them, because they try to jump over you to get the ball, right? If you come like right up next to them. But if you sort of bait them out and like go back and forth until you just get right on the edge of where they're going to try to jump over you, they will follow you. And then as the ball is bouncing towards you, they'll continue to try to kick at you. So what you can do is you can bounce the ball behind you, you bait them towards you, you go backwards, the ball is over your head as you're walking backwards, you jump up and you spike it over their head into their goal. That seems like the strategy they are using to beat level 40 bots. I have not been able to pull that off with any consistency, though. So let me know, again, in the comments if you have any strategies or anything like that. And as always, guys, hope you have a fantastic day. If you have any ideas for future Headball 2 videos you'd like to see, drop them down in the comment section below. Until the next one, peace.